guys, how you doing? This is kind of a redo. Excuse me, drinking that Coke. Sip for the working man. But this is kind of a reaction to Wonder Woman 1984. Some of the reactions and hot takes that I've seen, and I'm just going, the hell is the matter with the fandom menace these days? Now, first off, my overall thoughts was, I'm kind of with Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. He had a pretty good take. It wasn't good, and it definitely wasn't as good as the first movie, but it wasn't outright terrible either. Let me explain. Minor spoilers. The good was basically Gal Gadot and Chris Pine's interactions. In fact, Chris Pine did almost a pitch-perfect job of playing the man out of time. You know, a stranger in a strange land. He played that perfectly. Hats off. I tip my hat to Chris Pine on his performance of Steve Rogers in this one. Now, caveat, yes, him having his soul transplanted into the body of another man and only Diana could see him, okay, that was, well, dumb. And of course, yes, I know the whole, Diana took advantage of another guy's body without his consent. Yeah, that's some muddy gray areas, but, another soul had an inhabitant in the body, kind of shoved that soul out as far as I'm concerned. So that's a morally gray area, but also she was overcome with Steve, so yeah, kinda, yeah, not really. So I'm sitting on, I'm gonna fence sit that one. Call me a coward or whatever if you like. But the interactions between Diana and Steve were probably the best things about the movie. And, of course, Steve being the fish out of water. The bad? Well, the villains. They sucked. They were not compelling enough. They were, well, about as bad as some villains on CW shows. About that flat, that unoriginal. It's not a good thing, Patty. As a side note, I know what Patty Jenkins said about Maxwell Lord trying to be a stand-in for Trump. If that was your idea for a stand-in to Trump, you did a really shitty job of it. But yeah, the villains were definitely a big detriment of this movie. The story of be careful what you wish for was not executed very well. You see, it was 2.5 hours, and Critical Drinker was right about it being very campy, very badly paced, convoluted, and contrived. I'll give that one. Boy, it hung better than Birds of Prey, that's for damn sure. But, yeah, like I said, I've got mixed emotions, but it's not the trash that everybody says it was. It's kind of one of those movies, I watched it once, I'll probably never watch it again. But one thing I saw, and I got about 2.5 minutes into Critical Drinker's review, and I had to shut it off because I was just like, oh my God, Drinker, my man, look, I normally dig your reviews, but on this one, sorry man, you forgot to make that left turn at Albuquerque, buddy. Because let me paint the picture. He's sitting there complaining that in the opening sequence that 10-year-old Diana beats a bunch of Amazons in this Amazon obstacle course. My reaction is, yeah, no shit. This is something that's been bugging me. But the fandom menace and a lot of the content creators are people like Critical Drink, where you scream and harp about continuity, and then when they do something that's within continuity, you screech about it. Let's roll back to the first Wonder Woman movie. It is shown that Diana, and if you don't believe me, look at the Greek pantheon, is the goddess Diana, daughter of Zeus and Hera. Ring a bell? Daughter of Zeus? Same goddess level as Apollo, Ares, who she beat. And everybody says, oh, she learned how to fly? You do remember she was hovering in midair in the last movie while throwing that thunderbolt. How the fuck she do that? Well, she was awakening to her goddess power. Now, that is a little bit of a, continuity error. But you know what? It was kind of in the moment, and she was throwing that lightning bolt. But it is proven that she is a goddess on the level of, like I said, Ares, Apollo, Aphrodite, Artemis. Hephaestus, the list goes on. The only three gods or goddesses or four that could probably be better than her would be Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and probably Hera. Other than that, she is on an equal playing field to every other Greek/Roman god or goddess. So, yeah, it's not fucking surprising that she, at 10 years old, with the power of a goddess, beat a bunch of very, very immortal ancient Amazons. No shit, she did. Logic, people, come on, continuity, logic. Let's use them, please. Sorry, Drinker, I love your videos. Every time they usually show up, it's probably one of the highlights of my day. But on this one, I gotta slam that video. That was a bad take, man. You just threw continuity out the window because a little girl beat Amazons. Come on, man. Really? Seriously? Bruh. So, yeah. Like I said, I do agree with some things on the video, but I got to that point and I'm like, yep, nope. Checked out. Done. Sorry, man. You threw logic out the window and I can't follow that. But overall, what's my final verdict on Wonder Woman 84? Got about a C, about a 7 out of 10, about a 70% C minus. Could have been way better. It had some good moments, but it also had some pretty bad moments. And some pretty dumb shit. So, it's a mixed bag. Will I ever watch it again? More than likely not. And I also saw that one video on Twitter that's making the rounds where they put in a bunch of 80s music. It's like, come on, you guys should have hammed that shit up. Look, Hans Zimmer's great and all, but we should have had some more 80s music up in there. If you're going to go for the member berries, just go for it. I mean, much as I don't like Captain Marvel, at least they went heavy into the 90s, though the 90s is probably, in my opinion, one of the weakest decades of them all. That's just me, and I lived through them. That's pretty much, let's see, I turned, 1990, I was in first grade, so by 2000, I was in high school. So, yeah, I would say I pretty much lived through the 90s, and they were fucking boring. I prefer the 80s. And I was too young to really appreciate them until they were gone. Anyways, there's my thoughts on Wonder Woman 84. Mixed bag. Not as bad as everybody's saying, but it's definitely not great either. It's meh. I'm Jeff. Catch you next time.